April 22nd, 2015 from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. It was Game 2 from the 2015 NBA playoff matchup between the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks. And in the first quarter, the Hawks were up by 12. Allen Anderson then hit a big three for the Nets, and then Jarret Jack with the long deuce. Horford responded for the Hawks with the J, and then Jarret Jack with the layup, and then a 2-point shot, and it was now a 4-point game with the score 29-24 as the Nets had cut the Hawks' lead to 5 after 1 quarter of play. Then in the second quarter, with about 8 minutes left before halftime, Bogdanović hit a three-pointer to tie the game at 36, and the Nets would end up taking the lead. But then Paul Milsap hit a three-pointer for the Hawks with about 3 minutes left to tie the game at 43. And then after a couple of free throws by Brook Lopez, Kyle Korver hit a long two to make it 45-45. And then Korver drops a tray, and it was now a 3-point lead for the Hawks, 48-45. But then Jarret Jack with a 2-point shot, and then Teague draws a foul, goes to the line, hits both shots, and it was 50-47 at halftime with the Hawks in the lead by 3. Then in the third quarter, with about 5 minutes left, Joe Johnson put the Nets up by 1 with the score 61-60, but then the Hawks went on an 8-point run to take the lead 68-61 with a big dunk by Antic, so they're up by 7 points. And then the Nets would try to get back in it. They got a couple of free throws, 4 free throws to make it a 3-point game. And then the Hawks came right back. Mike Scott with a big 3-pointer. And then Antic hits a couple of free throws. Lopez comes back with a layup for the Nets. And then Horford gets a nice little 3-foot shot. And it was 75-67 as the Hawks led by 8 going into the fourth quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, the Nets ended up going on a 16-6 run. They're actually down by double digits in the fourth, but they go on this run, 16-6, capped off by Jarret Jack hitting a 3-pointer to make it a 1-point game at 89-90 as they trail by 1 point with just 2 minutes left to play. DeMarre Carroll then got a layup, and it was a nice pass underneath. And then Allen Anderson came back. He got a 2-point shot. Then Paul Milsap drew the foul. He hit the first one, but he missed the second one. And so now the Nets had a chance. They took a timeout. They were down by 2. They had a chance to tie this game up. They got some ball movement. And then Deron Williams wide open, and he misses the jumper. And so now Kyle Korver gets the rebound. He gets the foul. And so now Kyle Korver would go to the line. He hit both shots. That made it a 4-point lead. And then DeMarre Carroll blocked Jarret Jack's 3-point attempt. And so now Busmore got the rebound. He got the foul. He missed the first one, made the second. That made it a 5-point lead, and that was the final score as the Hawks hold on to win this one, 96-91 over the Nets. So the Hawks, they narrowly escaped with the win in Game 2 as they go up 2-0 in the series, winning both games in Atlanta, heading to Brooklyn for Game 3. The Nets gave them a scare there late with that late run in the fourth to make it a 1-point game, but the Hawks close out strong, and Deron Williams, he is the opposite of clutch, is he just folded under the pressure, wide open. That 2 he missed, could have tied the game, but that's a big reason why the Nets are down 2-0 in this series, is they're not really getting any production out of Deron Williams. He only had 2 points in this game, shooting only 1 for 7 from the field, and he missed both 3-point attempts that he took in this game. Not trying to lay it all on Deron Williams, but really when a guy of that caliber plays so horribly, you're going to lose. He did have 10 rebounds, though, and 8 assists to his credit and 2 steals. So, he was getting the ball, just not getting it in the hoop. And for the Hawks, 4 of their 5 starters score in double digits. Al Horford with a double-double. He had 14 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Just 3 assists shy of the triple-double for the center for the Hawks. Kyle Korver, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals, and a block. 3 for 7 from three-point land, hitting 4 or 5 free throws as well. Jeff Teague, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. Paul Milsap, he came up huge in this game for the Hawks as he hit all 4 3-point attempts, 4 for 4 from downtown. He had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks in this game. And DeMarre Carroll, just 2 points, but 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal and a block. And off the bench, Dennis Schoder, 12 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Antic, 8 points and 2 rebounds off the bench as well. So the Hawks coming up big, and it was those 3-point shots that really saved the Hawks in this game. So they shot 38.7% from downtown versus 30.8% for Brooklyn. So the Hawks were 12 for 31 from 3-point land versus 8 for 26 for the Nets. And from the field, the Nets actually outshot the Hawks in this game, 44.9% to 38.9%, although they both made 35 shots. But the Hawks took 12 more shots from the field. The Hawks, 19 free throws. They hit 14 of them for a percentage of 73.7%. And the Nets, 13 of 18 for 72.2% from the foul line. The Nets actually had more rebounds, 49 to 41. The Hawks had more assists, 27 to 23, and almost twice as many steals as they were forcing those turnovers. So they had 11 steals versus just 6 for the Nets, and then 7 blocks versus 5 for Brooklyn. So the Hawks, they didn't get it on the boards, but everywhere else they had the advantage. Of course, they didn't shoot as well from the field, but they made up for it with those threes, which is uncharacteristic of Atlanta. They usually shoot better from the field, and they're not necessarily a team taking those threes. But Paul Milsap said coming up clutch, and Kyle Korver can hit those threes. Teague hit a couple as well. And then they got one from Scott, Antic, and Schoder all off the bench, each hitting 1 3-pointer. And so the Hawks go up 2-0 in the series. The final score in Atlanta, Hawks 96, Nets 91.